It's time. Come on in. Hope you made it through the internet traffic. We've been waiting for you. Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Fran Epstein.
And I'm Barbara Signer.
And I'm Terry Bell. We three are the co-chairs for this year's 18th annual Quality Florida Celebration event.
Our steering have worked hard to bring you a fabulous night. Grab your favorite beverage, settle in. It's going to be a fun ride. You will be impressed of what we have in store for you. And all this delivered to your living room.
Barb, that sounds right. Although I'm looking here and I'm seeing a couple of people, looks like maybe Nate and maybe Rafi wearing gym shorts. Really, guys? We can see you, but I'm sure there are others who are also wearing their COVID attire tonight. The program begins in just a few minutes. Now our musical interlude with our friends from the South Florida Symphony Orchestra, an organization whom we have a great relationship with. Please enjoy while the rest of our guests arrive.
Oh, and by the way, during this music, if you have questions or comments or just want to say hi, you can use the chat function. Cheers.
Here we go.
And just like that, we're off and running. Good evening, everyone. And hi, Jamie. Good to see you. Folks, I'm Mark Puskarich, Equality Florida's Development Director. How about that beautiful intro music we just heard? Many thanks to Katya and Tao from South Florida Symphony Orchestra. We'll hear more from them later. And meanwhile, we have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, especially with the big election news today of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And just as a programming note, because of this news today and Joe Biden planning to speak in just about an hour, we plan to end this event before then so folks can listen to the remarks from our president-elect.
All right, can you guys hear me? I'm being told that my mic is on mute. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you do have me. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. All right, great. Well, of course, thanks to all of you guys for tuning in to the 18th annual Equality Florida Broward celebration. I'm Jamie Garola. I'm a reporter at NBC6. I do want to point out that we've got some people joining us. I was checking out the chat room. Brandon, hello. Nick, hello. We saw somebody from, let's see, I think West Palm Beach. Nope, Jacksonville. Hey, Liz, thanks for joining us, guys.
Oh, how fabulous. What a great group of folks we have tonight to celebrate Equality Florida's work. And Jamie, tonight we definitely have a lot to reflect on this year and what a year it's been.
Yeah, you've got that right. I'm always happy to MC this event, and this is actually my 5th time.
Oh, and welcome back, Jamie. We always love to have you here with us. And we do have some successes to celebrate, and we'll be hearing more about those a little bit later. But right now, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and remember those that we've lost this year, including the tens of thousands we've lost to COVID-19, many dear friends right here in our Broward community. We remember you and we honor you.
Thank you, Mark. Now we want to invite everybody watching to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, share the event on their pages, brag about us on your Instagram stories. You can even chat with us by dropping a message in the panel that's on the right side of your screen.
That's right, Jamie. And another great way you can interact with us tonight via our event is to take a selfie and text it to 440-467-3539. And I think we're going to be sharing some information about how to do that in the chat right now. If you take a selfie, send it to that telephone number, it will be texted back to you with a PNC Bank Equality Florida frame. And you can then post that photo on social media and or keep it in your smartphone photo album.
All right, now I also want to tell you about our fabulous virtual silent auction. Check out this slide. There are some incredible items on there, like a deluxe 9-day American River cruise from Whisper Travel, valued at $12,000. And the best part about it is now you can trade it in to go anywhere. Ted DeCibio is offering this trip with no expiration date. The link to browse all the items is right there in the chat.
Oh, how fabulous. And a big thank you to Ted and all of our generous donors who have supported our online silent auction this year. And Jamie, tonight is also a fundraiser to support Equality Florida's overall programmatic work, like our Safe and Healthy Schools Project, our transaction program, HIV advocacy, and many other important programs for the LGBTQ community in Florida. So I'm thrilled to announce right now, let everybody know that because of a very generous donor in Sarasota, every single dollar that's being donated tonight to Equality Florida is being matched 1-to-1.
Yay!
How fabulous is that? And we have a very ambitious goal to raise $30,000 tonight on this live broadcast and have those dollars matched dollar for dollar. Please help us with a donation of any kind. And Jamie, here's how you can do it. If you text the word equality, and we'll put this in the chat too, but text the word equality to the number 74121, you can donate online. And right now I'm going to pull up so we can track. I'm going to show everybody, bear with me here. I'm going to show everybody our thermometer tonight, right? So we're going to be tracking this all evening to our $30,000 goal. How cool is that, Jane?
That's awesome. And $30,000 is not that ambitious. Come on, we could do more.
Oh, I love your attitude. I love your attitude. And Amy, at Equality Florida, we do have a staff, but we also rely on a huge team of volunteers who are actually an extension of our staff.
All right, well, you're not paying me for this, right?
True, Jamie. But if we were, you'd be worth every single penny. And I want to thank you for volunteering to be here with us tonight. And I want to thank all of our amazing volunteers, especially this year, who worked so hard on our election programming. And we're going to hear from a very special volunteer right now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our 2020 Broward celebration. My husband Todd, our son Blake, and I are celebrating with you virtually from our home in Hollywood, where we've lived for almost 17 years. Before Obergefell v. Hodges made marriage equality a national reality, Equality Florida paved the way for legal marriage in Florida with the history-making lawsuit Pareto v. Rubin. Todd and I were one of the 6 plaintiff couples, and on January 5th, 2015, became the first gay couple to legally marry in the Sunshine State, right in Judge Zabel's chambers, along with Kathy and Carla. That's why I feel like it's fitting that Equality Florida honor Chasten Buttigieg tonight for the work he and his husband do on the national political stage. Chasten has shown all Americans that his family and my family are equal citizens who deserve equal recognition for their marriage and for all the rights and responsibilities it brings. I can't express to you the feelings of relief and equality I felt on our wedding day, but I quickly understood that while achieving marriage equality was a big win for us, there was a lot and remains a lot of work to do. At that point, I knew that I had to get more involved. So Todd and I immediately became Florida Council sponsors and started attending galas, mixers, and Equality Means Business luncheons. 3 years ago, I joined the board of directors and have gotten to see firsthand the incredible efforts Nadine Stratton and the staff make every day for our state's LGBTQ+ community. As a board, it's our job to support these efforts and hold the staff accountable. Trust me, they make our jobs very easy. They are good stewards of the money raised and operate a well-oiled machine made up of powerful and passionate individuals. I now understand how nationally renowned and respected Equality Florida is, and the exemplary model it sets for other states. There's no better illustration of this than to see what our community has endured this year politically and socially, and to see how quickly and efficiently Equality Florida rose to the occasion. Their commitment to racial equity especially hits close to home for me. I'm so proud of the extraordinary work and training Equality Florida has dedicated to this very important issue by mobilizing individuals and other LGBTQ organizations and major corporations. It's an honor to serve as board co-chair alongside our board members who are earnest community volunteers and leaders. I thank them. I thank our Broward Celebration co-chairs, Terry, Fran, and Barbara, and all of the other volunteers throughout the state for all the time and support they dedicate to Equality Florida. And so, from our family to yours, we raise our glasses and cheers to equality.
Cheers.
Cheers. And speaking of support and dedication, I'd like to thank PNC Bank for their tremendous support. Please listen with me to a special message from Todd Masnicki and his colleagues at PNC Bank.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here representing PNC Bank at this amazing virtual celebration. On behalf of PNC Bank, we are pleased to support the 18th annual Equality Florida Broward celebration. I'm a proud member of the LGBTQ+ community and happy to serve on the celebration's steering and host committees. I'm even prouder that for the 7th consecutive year, my employer, PNC Bank, remains the presenting sponsor of Equality Florida statewide with a major financial commitment in excess of $350,000 over that time.
At PNC, diversity isn't simply just a tagline. It's a critical component to how we do business and part of our culture. I live this every day at PNC, where I'm able to come to work and serve my clients as my whole authentic self. The inclusive culture starts with our top leadership right down to the local level.
We expanded our philanthropic giving, understanding the importance of helping our neighbors in these difficult and unprecedented times. Additionally, recognizing that we are living in one of the most important civil rights movements of our times. PNC also committed more than $1 billion to help end systemic racism and support economic empowerment of African Americans and low and moderate income communities.
PNC has a commitment to our clients and employees to seek every opportunity to ensure that the LGBTQ+ community and their families enjoy fundamental human rights, both at work and in the communities in which they live. Together with Equality Florida's grassroots efforts, individuals like yourself and all the organizations like PNC Bank represented here tonight, we are making a difference every day in Florida. Let's take the opportunity tonight to enjoy our successes and rally together to achieve even more. Thank you and enjoy the evening.
Wow, 7 years of sponsorship. That's just amazing. And before we talk more about how great PNC Bank is, I want to talk about some of the great people that are tuned in right now. I see Brandon in the chat. I see Gina in the chat. She says, thank you, PNC. We've got Nicholas, even Rose there. I know she's busy behind the scenes also. I think I saw Wes from Orlando. And Al says, Nate and Ralphie Klarfeld here, our grandson's account, have no idea how to sign in with ours. So we're glad you found a way to join us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so wonderful to see so many people joining us virtually. You know, this is our largest event throughout the state, in-person event throughout the state, and it's probably, you know, winding up to be probably our largest virtually attended event.
I gotta ask, what are you wearing underneath? Are you wearing shorts?
Oh. Maybe later I'll tell you, Jamie. Maybe later I'll tell you. But hey, what a great video from PNC Bank. What a important relationship we have with them and with folks like Todd and representatives from that bank that walk the walk and talk the talk relative to LGBTQ equality and diversity and inclusion in the workplace. It's super gratifying how they and others have continued their support of our work even during this very difficult year. And speaking, Jamie, of folks that support our work all year, I'm going to ask our producers to put up some slides right now so guests can take a peek at the extremely generous individuals and businesses that have supported Equality Florida's work this year. And while we're doing that, can you tell us what's coming up next in our program?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, that's you, Jamie.
Okay, it's my turn. Okay. Well, coming up, it's Nadine Smith's State of the State Address, the Voice for and the Voice for Equality Award to none other than Chasten. Also, we have some entertainment by the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida and more from the South Florida Symphony Orchestra.
Wow, that sounds like an exciting lineup, Jamie. And just as a reminder, folks, as you're being entertained tonight, this is a fundraiser. And another reminder that every dollar being donated tonight will be matched dollar for dollar. That means, Jamie, $50 becomes $100, $250 becomes $500, and so on, thanks to the generosity of a very kind and thoughtful donor in Sarasota. And the way you can do that is to text equality, the word equality, to 74121 and make your donation on that website. And Jamie, let's take a peek and see how we're doing so far.
How are we doing?
Our goal.
Oh,
okay. Hey, we're here for a while, so we have some work to do.
Well, you know what? We're going to get there. We do it every year. This is a new method for us doing this, getting together. We're used to rubbing shoulders and having cocktails and stuff, but you know, we're going to get through this virtually. And this is, like you said, one of the biggest events for Equality Florida up in Broward. So, Mark, up next, I have been waiting to hear from this guy, former state representative and current Equality Florida senior political director, Joe Saunders. He's on mute.
I'm here. Hey, guys.
Hey, Joe.
Thank you for the dynamic program, and thank you for that introduction, Jamie. Good evening, everyone. As you just heard, I'm former State Representative Joe Saunders and Equality Florida's Senior Political Director. It's my privilege to join you tonight for a special moment to remember and celebrate the legacy of a lion in our movement who was taken too soon. In February of this year, we lost Wilton Manor's mayor, Justin Flippen. At just 41 years old, Justin was one of the most well-known voices for equality and fairness in our state. His fierce commitment to public service earned him the love and admiration of his city, and his unwillingness to accept injustice pushed him to break barriers. I first met Justin in 2010. Justin had set upon an improbable mission to earn a seat at the table for our community in the Florida House of Representatives. Equality Florida deployed me and other staff and volunteers for 3 full weeks to work on Justin's campaign. We convened around Justin's dining room table to strategize and to cut turf. We knocked on doors in Wilton Manors and Victoria Park in the hot July South Florida sun, sharing Justin's vision with voters of a state where every one of us has a place, where every family, no matter who they are or who they love, has a voice in the process, where every voice has power. Justin's campaign in 2010 was shy of the votes we needed to win. His path to service would lead him to blaze different trails, but his campaign, just like his legacy, left its mark. For me and for Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith, who even now serves our community in Tallahassee, our time volunteering on Justin's campaign taught us that the greatest barriers to our freedom are our own imaginations. For every battle we lose it forward, learning and growing as that arc of justice bends. 2 years later, I made the decision to run for office. The night I won, when we finally broke through that lavender ceiling, I knew I'd done so because of the work and grit of those who'd come before. I won standing on the shoulders of Justin Flippin, who paved the way. So tonight, we honor Justin Flippin with the Equality Florida Legacy of Equality Award for a lifetime of service and leadership to our LGBTQ community, and for proving to us all that our liberation is limited only by our ability to hope, to dream, and to imagine. To help us bestow this honor, please join me in welcoming Justin's parents and friends as we pay tribute to the life and the legacy of the amazing Justin Flippin.
Hi, my name is Julie Carson. I'm Wilton Manor City Commissioner. I want to thank Joe Saunders for all his work. Thank you, Joe. I am so proud to have been Justin's friend, and I couldn't be happier to see that my friend is honored in this way by Equality Florida. I know I speak for countless people, including Justin's colleagues that served with him, and those of us who will continue to serve on the commission in Wilton Manors, when I say that Justin touched us all with his special light.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Flippen. As Justin's mother, I am so honored that my son and his public service are being formally recognized by Equality Florida. I am proud of the man Justin had become and equally proud of him for every step of his life.
Hello, I'm Jim Flippin. I'm Justin Flippin's father. He was a person that believed in God, country, family, but most important was his integrity. He represented to me the best of what a son and a brother could ever be. I pray that his impact on the country, city, and state that he served and his friends will last forever.
Justin Flippin was a cherished friend. His warmth made everyone feel important and valued. Not only was this part of his dedicated service to his fellow citizens, his city, and his country, but it was part of who he was, and he achieved it with incredible integrity. Equality Florida's recognition and honor of Justin is most fitting, including as I'm confident Justin's impact is everlasting, as it has been in my life.
Minutes, 525,000 homes so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in clouds and laughter and strife. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in life?
Wow, Jamie, how great was that?
It was really good.
Super moving tribute to Justin Flippen. And I know there are many of you out there who knew and loved Justin. And please feel free to take a minute to maybe put a tribute in the chat box below for Justin.
Yeah, Mark, actually, some people are already doing that. Randy says, Justin was a true force, so beautiful to honor his memory. Nikki says, I love that Justin Flippen is being honored. Seen him several times, and he was always warm and welcoming. And of course, we got to thank the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. They have their holiday concert coming up later this month. The info for that is also going to be dropped in the chat. Also, if we haven't told you already, there's tons of cool stuff in our silent auction, and there really is something for everyone. And of course, it's not too early to do some of that holiday shopping, maybe a little bit before Black Friday.
Yeah, that's so true, Jamie. Like it or not, we are in the holiday shopping season. It's already November 7th. And folks, okay, I figured out this thermometer. Last time I didn't refresh the page. So this is the fundraiser tonight. I messed that up, Jamie. We're actually on our way to about $7,000 raised.
Wow.
Bring up the page right now. Yes, thank you to everybody that's participating in this online fundraiser. And just as a reminder, every single dollar that's being donated tonight will be matched dollar for dollar. So there you see our progress, Jamie, almost to $7,000 to our $30,000 goal. In order to make a donation tonight, there's no link or anything like that. All you have to do is get your cell phone out, text the word equality to the number 74121, and the system will walk you through how to make the donation there.
That's amazing. We're almost at a third toward our goal, and we still have another 30 minutes to go. And we certainly appreciate everybody who's taken the time to donate to us. And we've made it as easy as possible this year to donate because we have to do things virtually.
Yep. That's right, Jamie. We want to make it absolutely as easy as possible for folks to donate to this fundraiser tonight. Now, Jamie, moving right along, it's time for a few words from our South Florida Development Director. Many of you know and love her. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our virtual stage, Ro Iliescu. Hi, Ro.
Hey, everyone. Hey. You're doing such a great job. Thank you so much for manning, staffing the helm of this. There's a lot of things coming at you from all directions, so I so appreciate that. So, at this time of the night, I just want to really talk a little bit about me. Is that okay? This is actually my 10th Broward Gala, and it's been such a journey for me. I might get a little verklempt because, in fact, this is going to be my last Broward Gala as the development director of this region. But it's been such a journey, and one of the things that's made it really rewarding for me is the incredible support that we get from this community, whether it's the small businesses that give us a $50 gift certificate for an event to make people get people involved, or tens of thousands of dollars from big corporations and individuals, and it's help this event grow and grow and grow. So we're going to be putting up a slide that shows a lot of the individuals. These are people with whom I've developed personal relationships who, when we are just short of a goal, I can pick up the phone and tell them what's happening. And they step up time and time again. They step up, they stretch, they give more and more all the time. This past year, we had a match from the Florida AIDS Walk, and I asked people to give early, and they did. So that is one of the reasons why, in spite of the pandemic this year and some people needing to tighten their belts, this event, our annual fundraiser, is such a huge success. And we anticipate that we will net as much fundraising dollars as we have in the previous couple of years. So thank you to all of you sponsors who have made me such a success in this job and really made this heartwarming for me. I mentioned this is my 10th year. In fact, I'm going to be transitioning to a new position at Equality Florida, the manager of our legacy and estate planning program. So I'm really looking forward to that and helping people from across the state to recognize that including the nonprofits and the causes that are important to you in your wills, your estate planning is so important, especially for the LGBTQ community. who sometimes are not represented in the future as best they could be otherwise. Anyway, without any more talk about me, I would like to introduce someone. I'm still a bit starstruck after 10 years with this organization. She never ceases to amaze me at how she is able to just bring together all of the important elements of a situation, which we have today. We have a situation today. We had an amazing announcement this morning, and one that I wasn't expecting quite so soon, but I was delighted to hear about. And so we're gonna hear from the CEO, the co-founder of Equality Florida, Nadine Smith, right now.
Well, hey there. Am I okay? Just making sure I'm not on mute. Somebody said that these calls, Zoom calls, are sort of like a modern day seance where it's, Elizabeth, are you there? Can you hear me? But it has been an incredible night. And Ro, thank you so much for 10 years of building the Broward event. And in your honor, I'm already a proud member of the Florida Council, but in your honor, I'm going to increase my giving by $100 and invite folks to join me. But what a night. I mean, this has been so incredible. We had to pull some strings, but we finally got them to call the elections so that we could celebrate the victory of President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. And to top it off, we went ahead and asked them if they wouldn't mind having their acceptance speech at 8 p.m. tonight so that they could be our keynote speakers. And they were very, very accommodating. What an amazing day this has been. You know, for me, the only thing better than saying President-elect Biden is saying Madam Vice President. Together, they secured more votes than any previous candidates and shattered the glass ceiling for women and people of color. And while a number of key states flipped from red to blue as mail ballots have brought a very slow motion landslide for the Democratic ticket, Florida was not one of those states. Donald Trump won the state by spending massively, $100 million plus, to keep the terrain he claimed in 2016. The work to mobilize and organize pro-equality, progressive Florida voters forced Trump to fight for every inch of ground in our state and drained his resources in other battlegrounds to the benefit of the Biden ticket. We were part of that massive mobilization. Equality Florida raised $1.5 million to launch the most ambitious pro-equality, get out the vote program in our history. We turned out over 1 million pro-LGBT voters in Florida. We expanded our field staff to 15. We organized over 400 volunteers, and I know some of you are listening tonight. And we spent months of focused outreach to more than 500,000 infrequent pro-equality voters who we knew wouldn't cast a ballot unless pushed to the polls by a trusted messenger. Now, by election day, we had convinced 110,000 voters who sat out the 2016 election entirely, not only to vote, but we got them to cast their ballot early. In a state where the Senate race was decided by less than 10,000 votes, and the governor's race was decided by less than 30,000, pro-equality voters are a decisive voice. Now, I wish I could say that a majority of voters in our state rejected outright the racist dog whistles, the Red Scare tactics, or the growing QAnon disinformation campaigns that have become standard right-wing election tactics. But this is Florida, and progress here is rarely a straight line. But I'm really optimistic for our state, and I'm optimistic for a few reasons. First, I'm optimistic because the emerging generation is flexing its political power. Early voting among people aged 18 to 29 is up across the country, including in Florida, where the youth vote is almost double what it was 4 years ago. And by wide margins, young voters are committed to racial justice, to LGBTQ equality, and embracing diversity and inclusion in many more ways than their grandparents. The second reason I'm really optimistic is because we're winning the battle for hearts and minds. And we believe that you change a state by changing hearts and minds. That changes how people vote. That changes who represents us. And there's new polling by the Public Research and Religious Institute, which tracks this pretty routinely, and it shows 70% Americans, an all-time high, are in favor of allowing gay and lesbian couples to marry legally, including the majority of most political and religious groups. And even more than that, 83% of Americans favor laws that would protect gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people against discrimination in jobs, in public accommodations, and housing, compared to only 16% of Americans who oppose such laws. And I'm optimistic because our opposition is desperate and losing. If you were tracking this election from the primary through the general, you know that homophobic incumbents lost, while anti-LGBT candidates even tried to hide their record. The August primary saw the ousting of notorious homophobes, Representative Mike Hill from the Panhandle, Representative Kimberly Daniels in Duval, and Representative Al Jaquette in South Florida. All three had made headlines for their anti-LGBT diatribes. And then in Seminole County, we saw a former state rep, Jason Broder, work really hard to rewrite history. In 2015, he had pushed legislation to allow adoption agencies to reject LGBTQ prospective parents. This year, facing a tight race against a pro-LGBTQ candidate, Broder just flat out lied to voters, claiming he was not only not a bad guy on our issues, but that he was actually responsible for ending Florida's ban on gay people adopting. Now, Broder won his seat, but not before a complete and dishonest repackaging of his anti-LGBTQ record. And we even saw Donald Trump send his daughter Tiffany to travel the country at poorly attended Trump Pride events and brag about her LGBTQ friends. The absence of the T was specific and very telling. This was an administration that from day one targeted our community, repealed protection, kicked transgender service members out of the military. And then the Republican packing of the federal judiciary with underqualified far-right partisans is a source of very well-justified stress and anxiety. In addition to the high-profile appointment of 3 Supreme Court justices, Trump has made a slew of lifetime appointments of anti-LGBTQ federal judges after Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell spent over a year blocking Trump's predecessor, Barack Obama, from rightfully making those appointments. So yes, the Supreme Court is a much more dangerous body than it was 4 years ago. But the desperate court packing is also evidence that the far right knows that the tide in our country is shifting. You know, Senator Elizabeth Warren really hit the nail on the head after the rushed appointment of the latest justice. She said, "This is a dark day, but it's important to remember why Republicans fought so hard to steal the Supreme Court seat. They realized a truth that shakes them to their core. The American people are not on their side, and we'll keep fighting until we take our democracy back." Well, we took a big part of it back tonight. So while we celebrate the election of the most pro-equality ticket in presidential history, let us also recognize the shift that is happening in our state that is worth celebrating as well. I'm optimistic because we carved out important victories for the LGBT community and LGBT candidates and some of our strongest allies. In 2020, 48 LGBTQ candidates qualified for the Florida ballot in races spanning from North Florida to Key West, and 12 openly LGBTQ members of our community won the support of voters. We are in every corner of this state, and we are stepping into lead with perspectives and courage to make Florida better. Chevron Jones and Michelle Rayner have made history by becoming the first Black LGBTQ candidates to win seats in the Florida legislature. Senator-elect Jones is now the highest-ranking LGBTQ official in the legislature, and Representative-elect Rayner is the first Black queer woman ever elected in the state. Every election, we hear a lot about the I-4 corridor, and so much about that because it's considered the place where Florida swings. And what's really exciting about that is that it has become a pro-equality power base. In Orange County, our own community hero, Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith, won his re-election decisively. And right next door to him, pro-equality powerhouse Anna Escamani, who calls herself not just an ally, but an accomplice, won re-election. And they were resounding victories in what were previously called swing districts. It highlights how long-term investment in progressive organizing, pro-equality organizing can shift the state. And of course, in South Florida, LGBTQ candidates and pro-equality champions swept in the state's highest profile mayoral races. Key West Mayor Terry Johnson and Fort Lauderdale Mayor Dean Trantelis, along with Steve Glassman, won decisive re-election campaigns, while pro-equality ally Daniela Levine Cava won her election to become the first woman mayor of Miami-Dade County, a very powerful position that is now occupied by someone who has been an incredible champion, is close to our organization, and has fought for LGBT equality. So despite being under-resourced for this cycle, we have cracked an important code for LGBTQ and ally mobilization. But imagine if we had the resources to do this work on a larger scale. We wouldn't just be bragging about 110,000 voters who didn't vote in 2016 or mobilizing 1 million pro-equality voters. We would be able to double, even triple that work. And now imagine it happening in every single swing state to shift our country from city halls to legislatures to the White House. So let us celebrate tonight and prepare for the work ahead. We've done amazing work this election, but we've only scratched the surface of what is possible with a deeper investment in the growing pro-equality vote. I want to thank you all for making everything that we've done possible by volunteering, by making contributions, for caring enough to leave this world better than it was when we arrived in it. And a special shout out, because I love saying it, to President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Good night, everybody.
Wow, thanks, Nadine. You know, she always puts it all out on the table, lets us know what Equality Florida has done and all the challenges that are ahead. And there are a lot. And thanks to Rose State of the State, I get briefed on that every year. So she absolutely brings that message home every year, and we will not back down here in Florida.
That's right, Jamie. You're so right about that. And we actually have another highlight of our program coming up too from one of our co-founders as well. So I'm just moving right along because I know we're trying to hit that 8 o'clock deadline to get folks out of here on time. So let's check in again. Over the course of the time that Nadine was speaking, our fundraising numbers have definitely gone up. So check it out, Jamie, we're at over $10,000 raised tonight.
Nadine's speech got us $3,000 or $4,000.
Yes. So just in 45 minutes, we've raised over $10,000. That's incredible, folks. As a reminder, every single dollar donated tonight is being doubled. Your donation tonight, your contribution tonight will be matched by a very generous Sarasota donor. And to do that, please text the word equality to the number 74121, and that information is going to show up in the chat.
All right, now, Mark, I have been keeping a pretty close eye on that river cruise so much that I'm going to have to ask the producers to tell me what it's at right now, if we've got it. Well, I'm interested. I'm not for 12,000, but let's get that to somebody who can donate that money and give to a great cause at the same time. Okay, so we don't have that number, but it's a really great deal, and 100% of the money raised goes directly to Equality Florida. And that auction doesn't end at 8 o'clock when we do. The auction will continue until 10 o'clock. I also saw a certificate for for brunch at Rosie's, which I know you love Rosie's, don't you, Mark?
Yes, Rosie's is one of my favorite places in Fort Lauderdale.
Well, why don't we go get some stuffed French toast after all of this?
Oh my God, I would love that. And a bottle of champagne, maybe for me. So, so that is a lot, Jamie, what you just described in our silent auction, folks.
Current bid, sorry, don't mean to interrupt. $9,250 on the river cruise. Also, whatever trip you want to take in lieu of that. So that's pretty good. $9,000.
That's just incredible. Yeah, and I know there's no expiration date on using that. So many thanks again to Ted for donating that to Equality Florida. And Jamie, like I mentioned just a couple minutes ago, we have another highlight of our program tonight. We're very fortunate to not only have Nadine as one of our leaders here at Equality Florida, but also the co-founder of Equality Florida as well. Back in 1997, both Nadine and Stratton came together and started this little organization that has become what it is today. And we're very lucky to have him here, one of our highlights of this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our virtual stage our co-founder and Deputy Director of Equality Florida, Stratton Politzer, to present the Voice for Equality Award. Hey, Stratton.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Jamie.
Welcome.
All right. Let's get this party rocking. How exciting is this? What a big, big day. And we are just minutes away from the keynote address at this year's Broward celebration. Joe Biden will be taking our stage very shortly. But first, I need to announce this year's Voice for Equality honoree. This is our highest honor, and this year we are recognizing Chasten Buttigieg. You know, we look back on 2020, and it has had some ups and some downs, but when you look at this election season, one of the most remarkable things was for the first time we had a top-tier LGBTQ candidate for president in Pete Buttigieg. And what a ride that was with Mayor Pete. And one of the things that made that so impactful was that every step of the way by Mayor Pete's side was his husband, Chasten Buttigieg. And so the country didn't just see a gay candidate, they saw an LGBTQ family. They got to see firsthand that the love we share is no different from and every bit as beautiful as the love of other families right there on that main stage. And Chasten is also just so relatable to all of us because it didn't all come easily for him. He experienced a really tough time with his family when he came out at just 18 years old in a family in Michigan. His parents were not accepting, his brothers were not accepting. He moved out of the home. He was basically couch surfing, homeless for some time then. Took a while, but his mom eventually reached out and said, come home. And he did. But that's not like the fairy tale ending. I know that family, like many of ours, has had to continue to work forward and reconcile. And it's about Chasten having the courage to be his authentic self, even under those circumstances, and be out. And he became a teacher. And you know how important LGBTQ young people are to the work of Equality Florida and how important our teachers are. And just think of what an incredible hero Chasten Buttigieg must have been in the classroom, standing up and standing tall. And one of the things that Chasten says over and over that he's learned and that he wants to share with the world, that he wants to share in this role, going through the world with Mayor Pete, is the power of telling your own story. And he has told his beautifully. He wrote a best-selling book about it called I Have Something to Tell You, which I imagine is the way he started that conversation with his parents when he came out when he was 18 years old. I know Chasten and Pete's story is really just beginning. I will say that Politico voted Chasten the winner of the what is the right word? Presidential Partner Award, first mate award during the very large field primary. And we could not be more excited today of all days to have with us for our Broward celebration, Voice for Equality honoree, Chasten Buttigieg, everyone.
Hello to all my friends in Florida, and first let me just say thank you so much for this recognition. I'm sorry that we cannot all be together in person today to celebrate, especially on this day, especially on this historic day with the election of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I know we are all breathing a deep sigh of relief. I, for one, am so excited for what this means for the future of LGBTQ plus equality in America. I'm also humbled by the idea of receiving an award for being myself. I definitely did not grow up sitting on my mother's knee saying, gosh, I hope I marry someone who runs for president one day. But boy, what an adventure this past year or two has been.
being at Pete's side, oftentimes away from him on the campaign trail, traveling the country, getting to know people and listening to their stories, I was reminded just how important it is to tell our own stories. And that's why I came out every day on the campaign trail, meeting with LGBTQ plus people from coast to coast, listening to their stories and telling my own, because there is power in sharing our own stories. I remember sitting at a table in Tulsa, Oklahoma, listening to the story of a young man who was kicked out of his home, who walked in the middle of the night and slept outside the Oklahoma Equality Center, only knowing that that was the safe space for him to go in Tulsa, and being reminded how important it was that should Pete be elected president, I had to carry his story to the White House as well. It is due time that we had leadership in Washington that reflects the diversity of this country and says that yes, LGBTQ lives matter, that Black lives matter, trans lives matter. And that is why we are all here. And that is why I'm so glad and delighted to celebrate with you today and to acknowledge you for all of the hard work you're doing in Florida on the ground to help tell other people's stories and to keep them safe. It has been an honor being out on the trail with Pete, traveling the country, listening to people, and getting to be, I guess, in a way, somebody I wish I would have had growing up. Somebody who goes on television and kisses his husband on the cheek and doesn't give a damn what Rush Limbaugh thinks about it. I hope that we can all find solace in these next few days, that our country is headed in the right direction, and that there is tremendous power when we come together as a community and as a country. Thank you so much for this recognition. Thank you so much for this award. I also have to say, I think it is much more beautiful than many of the awards that Peter has on the shelf. So, Lev.
Well, I get to do the honors. So congratulations, Lev, the Voice of Equality Award from Equality Florida. What a beautiful award.
Thank you. Yeah, it is absolutely great. Come on in. Thank you so much, friends in Florida. I hope that very soon Pete and I can celebrate with you in person. But until then, my sincere gratitude for everything that you are doing on the ground in Florida to help protect LGBTQ lives and tell our stories. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Congratulations, Lev.
Thank you.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say. We don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say. No one will love you as you are.
Don't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send the flood, gonna drown them out.
I am brave,
I am who I'm meant to be.
this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
We are bursting through the barricades, reaching for the sun. Yeah, that's what we've become.
I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Oh,
gonna send a flood, gonna drown him out. I am afraid, this is Bruce, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum, to the beat I drum. This is me. Whatever the words wanna cut me down, I send a flood to drown them out.
Wow, amazing. Gay men chorus of South Florida. That Chasten, boy, he is something, taking his story and using his voice for good. And a bonus, we got Pete in there as well. So that was pretty amazing. So inspiring. I think maybe he should run for president next time and Pete can be the first gentleman.
Right? How great would that be?
I like that. I like that. He's wonderful. Well, I just wanted to give a quick update on some of the fundraising that we've been doing tonight. So we have raised more than $12,000 in cash, which thanks to our generous donor will be doubled. And in addition, the trip, which of course can be a trip to anywhere, is at over $9,000 now. So already $21,000 plus more money that's coming in through the auction. So the auction's open till 10 o'clock tonight. As Jamie mentioned before, a great opportunity to do some holiday shopping. And then we are just about out of time because you know who is going to be giving his big announcement in just a few minutes. But I wanted to see if we have.
Ro, congrats on your last event here, or in this role anyway. Thank you so much for the hard work that you put into it.
Appreciate that, and you too, Jamie. 5 years, I can't believe it. So I guess we gotta go. We want to give people time to transition over to where they're going to be watching Joe and Kamala and everything else. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nadine, Stratton, Joe, and Mark and Jamie for being here tonight and making this such a fun celebration. And thank you for the for the announcement this morning. That really helped, right? So cheers to everyone. Here's to equality, and here's to a better year to come, which I think we can kind of count on a little bit now.
Hear, hear. Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for joining us.
Good night. Join us next year for the 2021 19th annual.
Hopefully it'll be first.